Do you have something to say? Then you need to start a podcast today. Now, to do a podcast, what you're going to need is you're going to need a good hosting service. And the one I use and the one I recommend is Buzzsprout. Now, Buzzsprout has a lot of features, but the best part about Buzzsprout is if you really just want to dip your toes in to starting a podcast, it's completely free. However, if you're willing to go all in and go full hog, go to the bottom of my show notes here, use my link, and start an account. So not only, if you start an account using my link, not only will you have access to all of Buzzsprout's features and everything like that, you will also receive a $20 Amazon gift card as a special thank you for joining. After your, second month, you'll get it. Now, like I said, it has a lot of things. Especially if you start an account using my link, you get indefinite hosting. So every episode that you put up it's just there forever. They will keep it up for you. Multiple platform support. So that means that Buzzsprout lets you link to pretty much every podcasting platform, be it iTunes, Pandora, TuneIn, and just a whole plethora of other ones. You obviously have to do the work yourself and submit, but, I mean, again, it's easy. It's just a click of a button and a little bit of downtime. Let's see, what else do they have? They have a lot of choices for monetization, be it affiliate programs, such as this one you're listening to right now, actually. And also many different, and links to different sponsors and different sponsor services that you can join to, try and get monetized that way. And the big thing that they have is they also now offer the Magic Mastering service, which is, what that does is it automatically fixes the levels in your audio, so it'll kind of tune out like background buzzing noise. And if if you have more than one person on your podcast, it'll try to even out the volume between the two different people, especially if one's louder than the other. It'll automatically do that. And then all you really have to do is choose your subscription level based on how much content you think you're going to be putting out every month. You can go be safe like I am and go high, or, you can go low, and if you go over the amount of time, it's just a little bit extra. Nothing big. Now, unless you're a complete coding wizard, making the content is, in a way, it's both the hard part and it's the easy part, because obviously you got to have something good to say. No, you don't really. But unless you're a coding genius, actually uploading a podcast somewhere is a massive pain in the ass, and really it's, not even so much that, it's just like, how do I do it, right? Whenever I first started this podcast, I tried submitting to iTunes, and you go to the submission page, it's literally just a blank page and a field that says, what's your RSS feed? I don't know what the fucking RSS feed is. Buzzsprout, however, takes all that uncertainty away. Like I said, you just go to all the different platforms you want once you have your stuff uploaded and submitted, and just hit submit. And you just have to copy and paste and it gives you an RSS feed. It makes it for you automatically, so you have that. You can copy and paste that whenever you need to submit anywhere. And yeah, Buzzsprout makes everything easy. Buzzsprout I would say it's your number one resource for podcasting. So if you want to start your own podcast, go down to the show, go to the bottom of the show notes here, use my link, get your podcast up, get your Amazon gift card, and get your heart out there. Now, enjoy this show. Alright guys, here we are, another episode of the Paint Booth. We've been going along at a pretty good clip now. So, as you know, I did some work on a commission for a friend of mine, a bunch of Custodes models. I finished off all the initial stuff, and I've actually just received some additional models to work on. So, I've got a couple upcoming vids with that, including the Telemon Dread, and I'm going to be getting Trajan as well. Now I also got, I'll show you right now, for today, we'll be working on the Culexus Assassin. Now this guy is a smaller, now he's a little hard to see since it's just a all black primer, but as you can see, he's basically just a dude wearing a body glove, but then he's got this big ass helmet and rig. And the whole point of this guy is he's a special assassin, that he only goes after psychers, and that's, you know, his whole shtick. So, and then also for this one, since obviously it doesn't follow the same paint scheme as Custodes, it's an entirely. I was asked by the client, my buddy, to, you know, basically match the general paint scheme that they have on the website as best is, or very similar, at least. So, with the one stipulation being that he wants the base here, which he's actually standing on some old building ruins, to be very similar to the rocks that I did in some of the other models. So that is what I'm going to do. And oh shit, it's a little too much. But to do that, we're going to start with the somber gray on the ruins here. Alright, so that is the base color for the ruins on the base. Now next, following the same formula, I'm going to go ahead and get a nice heavy dry brush in with the easily labeled Vallejo Cold Gray, like we've been doing with the rocks with my previous commissions. But the difference here is, where is it? Here we go. The difference here is I'm also gonna go over the bodysuit as well with this, namely the black parts, because that's the standard color scheme for the assassins. Is they're wearing a black bodysuit, and then there's just some, you know, details over top. So that's what we're gonna do. Base and bodysuit. Things about that I like about doing dry brush is it dries almost instantly, so it's easy to just keep going. And once again, we'll just go over like the really prominent edges on this base. Especially around the outsides. And now you might also notice that there's some room to paint a little bit of a distinction between the there's like a little bit of metal on the base, but I wasn't really asked to kind of differentiate. And I'm using someone else's paints too, so I'm just using what I got. Okay, gonna clean up a couple things, and then I'll come back and keep working on mod. Alright, so up next, now that we got kind of like the real base stuff done, more or less, I'm gonna work on some of the smaller details on this guy. And so what that's going to be is, first, now it's kind of hard to see here, but the this skull helmet, I'm going to start by painting it white or dead white. Dead like a skull. Makes sense. And then there's a few leather straps on this guy, so for that we're going to go back to our handy dandy chocolate brown. There's the label. There's the label. And then I'm also going to use that to kind of fill in around the rocks on the base. And then last, in this little chunk with the all this huge headgear, I'm going to go over the trim with Greedy Gold, which is a army painter color. And it's a bit of a darker gold, not like the polished gold that makes up the base for the other models that were in this commission, the Custodes. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and go over it with Seraphim Sepia as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put this whole thing on fast forward and just rifle through all these colors real quick. Alright, so this, I keep forgetting that this army painter stuff, you gotta really shake it up more, because this gold is a little too viscous for use. Especially these metallic colors are kind of runny. Alright, let's see what we get now. There we go. That's a little better. I also had to switch to a finer brush. Alright, let's try this again. So that more or less does it for the primary details. Yeah, that does it for the biggest details. There are some other smaller details. There's like some wiring, and then we're gonna have to get into the metal parts. But I'm gonna let this all dry, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so as you can see, we got a bunch of the defining details finished on this guy, and now all that's really left is details, because there really isn't a whole lot of major body portion. I mean, there isn't even really a lot of surface area on this guy. He's pretty small. That being said, there are some things that we still have to do. So, first thing I'm gonna do is, since I did go ahead and shade the head. It's you can't see it as well from here, but it's looking a little orangey. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dry brush back over. Can't see anything. See if that helps. There we go. With the dead white, I'm going to dry brush just a little bit on the skull again. And then there is a little bit of tubing on this guy, namely on the palms of his hands. Can't see it that well. And then he's got a couple cables going underneath the chest area right here. And for those, we're going to lightly go over them with our Stonewall Gray. Just to pop them out a little bit, but not to give them like a major big color difference. And then last, for this little segment at least, so that the helmet actually is kind of like his weapon, and also what this thing uses, what the in the story, obviously not in real life, it's just a model, but that's what this character uses to attack and track down psychers. And well, you can't really see it that well here, which I'm about to change, but there's a lens inside this big eyepiece. So we're just gonna hit that with Scorpion Green. I know it kind of looks different on the top and bottom, but that's pretty much what the color is. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the white first. And since these details are very small, I won't have to do any time lapse on y'all. So the white is just going to be a little bit of a dry brush. I have to be careful not to hit anything else that I've already gone over. It's going to be kind of hard because brushes like this tend to splay a bit. So yeah, we'll just do that. It's not sure how well. Let's see if that comes into focus. Yeah, there you go. So I got a little bit of white back into the face, and then on top of the, god damn it, give it a second, on top of the skull there. And that's really all we need to do with the white. So easy peasy. Next, we'll do our bits with Stonewall Gray. Get to a different. I'm actually gonna get a new paint palette because this thing's way too big. Let's go over here. Just a little teeny tiny bit. It'll come out. There we go. So one thing you do have to be, actually, you know what, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush as well. Here we go. So one thing with these dropper bottles, you do still have to be careful that you don't accidentally get too much. And then, let's put the light back on. For the hands here, I'm just going to very lightly go over these bits. So you can see we got some, see how well that shows up there. So basically just painting those, you can see the lines there. That's just the cables going from the wrist piece down to the knuckles. And do the same again on the other hand. Except for the thumb. The thumb does not have one of these cables on it, which is fine. And then lastly, like I said, we're going under the chest. Oh. Just about. There. That should do the trick for now. Alright, and last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and get this eyeball lens done. I have not opened this color yet, so hopefully it doesn't... Shit. Yeah, it should be fine. Got a little more out than I wanted, but that happens. Probably a little wetter than I wanted to. Yep. So, while I'm spilling my stuff all over the place, let's see, clean this up. You really gotta shake these things good, especially the first time around, because they're not mixed that well. Alright, let's try this again. It's still a little on the viscous side, but yeah, I think this will work. Oh yeah, there we go. Much better. So you can kind of see that nice, it gets into focus, got that nice bright green eye dot in there. Cool. Okay, and then, yeah, so pretty much all that's left is the actual metal parts on his suit, and we will do that in a second. Alright, so the good news is that this guy is almost done. All we have left are the other army painter color, and then with each of those parts I'll also be hitting it with the null and wash to give it a nice bit of weathering and contrast and all that stuff. So let's just go ahead and get started. there we have it. That is one sexy finished Culexus assassin. Whenever it comes into focus, oh yeah. And now this is, I mean, it is a very minimalist scheme, because that's just the nature of these guys. You know, they're dressed in black. The whole idea is that they're able to, they're stealth. They're assassins. You know, what do you want? But, and it's even reflected in the rules. You know, they're harder to hit. This one in particular, in game, is extremely hard to make attacks against, because he, the whole idea is, aside from having like a blast attack that really hurts psychers, he also has like a miasma, like a psychic miasma or something like that, that supposedly hurts people's brains and makes them hard to hit. So, anyway, once again, that is the Culexus assassin done. Come on, get in focus again. Okay, well, you saw it already. But, so yeah. Thanks for tuning in again. If you like this, you know, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for future episodes. Go back and watch previous episodes. And if you want to see some more of my stuff, check out my other channel here on YouTube, or go on iTunes. Look up the Jankety Ass Podcast, which is actually, at this point, that's actually the account that I'm going to be putting this channel in. So it'll be there for you to see anyway. And, thanks again. Stay tuned. We'll have another episode soon.